All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most incredible pieces of engineering in the entire natural world, the human heart. It's a pump, it's a powerhouse, and it is the engine that keeps you going every single day. So, let's jump right in.
You know, when we think of a heart, this is probably what comes to mind, right? This simple little symbol. But the real thing? Oh, it's a whole different story. The reality is this incredibly complex, powerful, and honestly, just fascinating machine. Today, we're going to figure out exactly what makes this engine tick.
So, to really get the heart, you've got to see where it fits in the grand scheme of things, the body's massive transportation network, the circulatory system. It's got three main parts. First, you've got the blood, which is basically the fluid carrying all the goods. Then you have the blood vessels. Think of those as all the highways and back roads. And finally, the star of our show, the heart, the central pump that keeps all that traffic moving 24/7.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine room itself, because the heart isn't just one simple pump. It's this incredibly sophisticated four-chambered marvel, and each one of those chambers has a critical job to do.
So here they are, the four chambers. What's really cool is that the heart is essentially two pumps working right next to each other. Each of those pumps has two rooms, a top room called an atrium, which acts as a receiving area for blood, and a bottom room, the ventricle, which does the heavy lifting of pumping blood out.
And you know, their design, it perfectly matches what they're supposed to do. The atria up top have pretty thin walls because, hey, all they have to do is receive blood. But the ventricles down below, they are the real powerhouses. Their walls are super thick and muscular, built to pump blood out with some serious force. So how do you make sure all this blood flows in the right direction and doesn't just slosh backwards? Well, the heart has this brilliant system of valves. You can think of them as perfect one-way doors. They swing open to let blood pass through, and then they snap shut to make sure none of it goes back the way it came.
And that classic lub-dub sound of a heartbeat, you know what that is? It's literally the sound of these valve doors shutting in perfect time. The lub is the first set of doors closing, and the dub is the second set. It's pure mechanical genius, really.
Okay, let's talk about the cargo. Because the right and left sides of the heart are handling two totally different kinds of blood that's loaded with oxygen and blood that's already dropped it off. And they absolutely never mix. So here's a question for you. How can you possibly remember which side does what?
Well, it's actually super simple. Just remember the word Lord. L-O-R-D. The left side of the heart deals with oxygenated blood, and the right side handles the deoxygenated blood. It's a really handy trick for a crucial biological fact. So now that we know the parts, let's follow the full journey of the blood. And it's not just a simple circle, you know. It's more like this clever figure-8 highway that we call double circulation.
What does that even mean? Well, it's pretty straightforward. For every single full trip around your body, a drop of your blood has to pass through the heart twice. And that little detail, that is the secret to our system's incredible power and efficiency.
Okay, so let's follow loop number 1. This is the pulmonary circuit. So the deoxygenated blood, the stuff that's already dropped off its oxygen, comes into the right side of the heart. From there, bam, it gets pumped on a quick trip over to the lungs to get rid of carbon dioxide and pick up a fresh tank of oxygen. Now for the second loop, which is way bigger. This is the systemic circuit. That now freshly oxygenated blood zips back to the left side of the heart. And this is where the main event happens. That super powerful left ventricle pumps it out with incredible force to, well, everywhere. Every organ, every muscle, every single cell in your body. So let's do a quick recap of that whole journey. Deoxygenated blood from the body enters the right atrium, gets pumped to the lungs for a fresh load of oxygen, then it returns to the left atrium, and finally it's pumped out by the mighty left ventricle to the rest of the body. And this whole cycle? It repeats over and over every single second of your life. Just wild.
But why, right? Why go through all this trouble? Why this complicated four-chamber two-loop setup? Well, it turns out this design is basically a biological superpower. It gives us a huge evolutionary advantage.
And if we look around the animal kingdom, we start to see some clues. Fish, for example, have a pretty simple two-chambered heart. Amphibians stepped it up to 3 chambers, but mammals and birds, like us, we have the full 4-chambered model. So what's the big deal? And this is where it all clicks into place. Just look at the pattern here. The animals with 4 chambers and that true double circulation system, they're the same ones that are warm-blooded. That is not a coincidence. Here's the bottom line. Being warm-blooded takes a ton of energy, and this double circulation system is like a high-performance engine that delivers oxygen way more efficiently than any single loop ever could. It lets the heart blast blood out to the body under high pressure, while at the same time sending it to the delicate lungs under much lower, safer pressure. It's both powerful and smart.
And the workload? It's just staggering. Every single day, your heart beats around 100,000 times. It's pumping blood through literally thousands of miles of blood vessels. It's like a marathon runner that just never ever gets to stop for a break.
Think about that over a lifetime. We're talking more than 2.5 billion beats, which really leaves you with one final thought, doesn't it? Can you think of any other machine, any machine at all, that can run continuously for 80 years without a single break? The human heart, it really is the most incredible engine ever built.